the camera for like an hour and some change for my fall TBR video, so I kind of feel like my brain has already turned off, but I wanted to go ahead and intro this vlog because I'm very, very, very excited about it. So welcome to a cozy fall let's do book stuff vlog. These are like my all-time favorite thing to film, honestly, because I just get to do fun book related activities and record them. And this has an extra fun layer because I get to make them fall themed. The reason I wanted to start the vlog right now is actually because in about an hour-ish, me and the girlies are doing book club. We're doing book club in about an hour, and even though our book was our final book of the summer and it is a bit more summer vibes than what I'm currently in the headspace of, my roommate Matt and I are definitely curating fall vibes in the household. She is making a fall-themed charcuterie board. I will be lighting every single pumpkin bourbon candle, putting on a fall ambiance just like this one out in the living room, and I'm just very excited. It wasn't my turn to pick our next book, and I'm really, really hoping that my friend Erin, whose turn it was, picks something spooky for October. Maybe just even something fall themed. You know, I think that would be so fun. We'll see. But our book club book was The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hilderbrand, and I'm really excited because there is a Netflix show out for it, so we're gonna watch the first episode or two, depending on how late the girlies want to stay over. And I'm just really excited. I feel like it's gonna be a really wholesome, cute, fun evening, so wanted to bring you guys along for that. And then depending on how the weekend plays out, we will see what else we get up to that is fun and bookish, and I will take you along for that too. So anyways, with all that being said, we will get started with book club. So see you in a little bit. If this outfit and angle looks familiar to you, that might be because I just finished filming the final thoughts for my 24-hour readathon and I didn't feel like changing or moving, so. But I just realized I haven't talked to you guys since the last time I got some footage, and I actually have accumulated a few things, and I wanted to give you a little haul of what I got when I went to Target and actually just fall shopping in general with my roommate in that last clip. So first things first, please tell me this is not the cutest thing you have ever seen in your entire life. Like, are you kidding me? The little ghost bag. When I tell you that the literal last thing I needed was a mug, I don't have any fall mugs. That was my rationalization, my excuse for why I let myself get this, but also just his face. Are you kidding me? I will be making hot cocoa, hot matchas, and coffee in this all season long. I have too many mugs, but I needed him. He doesn't have a name yet, but I will be giving him one because he just has so much personality, okay? So he needs a name. I'll get back to you on that. Also from Target, I did go ahead and get 2 books because they were doing a buy one get one half off situation, and who am I to say no to that? I can't say no. I had to say yes. I'm pretty sure I filmed me picking this up, but I talked about this in my fall TBR video as one of the ones that I didn't own but would really like to get to this fall. I got so many comments saying that I absolutely needed to pick this up because there was no better time to read it than fall, and I would probably really love it. And that is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I have had my eye on this since it was popular last year, but I feel like recently I've been seeing so much about it, obviously because it's coming into the season again when people are picking it up for the first time or doing their rereads. I'm always just so curious about a duology that people say like the second book feels so different to the first, and I really want to read more duologies. Like Six of Crows was the first duology I've ever read, I think, but I just think a duology is such a perfect size for a series, and obviously as I toy around with writing a book of my own, I kind of want to have done my research on the groundwork of what a duology is like, and so I've heard so many interesting things about the nature of this duology, and I'm so curious also just because it seems like the vibes in this are so good. From what I know about it, it's like a gothic romantasy situation, definitely fantasy. I think it might be young adult, I'm not 100% sure, but from what I know about it, and as we all know, I love going into fantasy books blind, so I don't want to like super look into it. I feel like I've gathered tidbits here and there from different reviews I've heard of it over the years. year. Didn't it come out last year? Oh, September 22. So the last couple years. But I still don't know a ton about the plot itself, but what I do know is our main character, Elspeth, has a monster living inside her, like a voice in her head. And then there's like a looming, I don't know if it's like a plague or just like a dark cloud descending on the city that she lives in. She is thrust into a world of shadow and deception as she joins a dangerous quest to cure blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Okay, so dark magic. I don't know. It just like this tagline at the bottom, maiden must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom in this dark, lush, gothic fantasy debut. Lush, dark, gothic fantasy debut? Like a debut novel that curates the vibes as well as people say that this one does. Sounds incredible to me and I'm so excited. And if you see me pick this up in October and push all the other books that I've owned for however long down lower on the list because I own this now, I'm sorry, okay? Now, the other book I bought is kind of out of left field, like actually really out of left field. But I found myself in kind of a romance mood lately and I just don't have that many like contemporary romances just sitting on my TBR cart. So I really did something random here and I got Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. From what I know about this is a orchestra romance where I think he is a cellist and she is a violinist and they are both in the same orchestra and he has never noticed her before. And then somehow they get into a situation where he notices her for the first time and then they realize they have undeniable chemistry, etc, etc. Just yeah, like I fear I'll be eating this up. I think it was Heather McLary talking about this and it just seemed like something I would really enjoy. I've also never read a book by Julie Soto before, so I'm curious to see if I like her writing style. I've heard mixed things about the book that comes before this in the interconnected standalone situation. I believe it is called Forget Me Not. Assuming they are interconnected standalones. I'm actually really not 100% sure. I will fact check myself if that's not true. But yeah, I'm just actually really excited for this. And also like the nature of it makes it feel like it could be like an anytime read. Like it's not like a seasonal read, so I might not get to this like super soon, but I'm very excited to have it as an option. And if I do get to it super soon, and I didn't say that. Okay, and then lastly, this is so random. I got this new blanket. I went to Kohl's after I went to Target that day and bought those books and that mug. And here's the thing, I've been looking for a fall blanket to put in my room just to kind of like up the ante a little bit with the fallness of it all. And somehow I walked away with this. Like it's called the Harvest blanket, I'm pretty sure, on the website, but it's pink with tomatoes. I'm so sorry, this is not giving fall to me basically at all, but I did go ahead and move forward with purchasing it. So I did go ahead and acquire this and I have been using it every single day. This thing is so soft. I just wish it was a little more fall, but that's okay. I think the colors are really cute and it's so vibrant and fun. I'm really obsessed with it. I had to share because it's my new fall blanket even though it's not crazy fall vibes. So anyways, that's it for the haul. That's all I bought. 2 books, a mug, and a blanket. But I was really excited about all those things and had to tell you about them. While I have you here though, since this is after all a cozy fall doing book stuff video, I just wanted to give you an update on the book that I'm currently reading. So I think 2 nights ago, I started House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, which is like a young adult horror fantasy situation. I'm loving the vibes of this. I'm really loving the vibes of it. The story is so unique. I think I'm only on page 40 something at this point, like maybe 48 or 50. It is really interesting and really well written. It's so fast paced. The concept, it's so unique. I'm invested. I'm locked in. Basically, if you've never heard of this before, it follows the 3 Hollow sisters. It's Grey Hollow, she's the oldest. Vivi Hollow is the middle sister, and Iris Hollow is the youngest sister. And when they were 7, 9, and 11, I think is like their age distribution, they were kidnapped, and when they were returned to their family, they had white hair, black eyes, weird scars on their necks, but they don't remember anything about what happened to them when they were taken. All they know is that when they came back, weird stuff started happening around them and they seemed to have maybe a little bit of magic, who knows. Basically where this book starts, Iris is the main character, the youngest sister, and her oldest sister Grey was supposed to come into town to visit her, but she never arrives. And so where I'm at right now, they're kind of trying to figure out where she is. They don't necessarily think anything's happened to her quite yet, but I think very clearly that's where we're going, and I'm locked in. Like I said, I'm only on page 48 and I am so intrigued. I was so tired last night, otherwise I think I would be significantly farther in this than I am right now, but it's only 290 something pages, I think, and it's young adult, so it's super fast paced, so I think this will be one that I crank out very quickly. And honestly, I'm probably gonna sit down here in a minute and get a decent chunk of this read, so just wanted to fill you in before I somehow blow through the entire thing without ever talking about it. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for right right now. Just kind of wanted to give an update. There is a cute little chill in the air outside and I'm eating it up. So I think I might go for a walk this evening. I'll probably listen to some of this on the walk. And I actually have a couple of books to take to Little Free Libraries. And then I'll come back to you when I have updates on this because I'm sure I have a feeling I'm really gonna enjoy it and I would love to keep you updated. So anyways, that's all I have planned right now. I have some cookies left over from the readathon that I didn't make. So I also might make some of those this evening. And who knows, maybe I will make a hot cocoa in my cute new pumpkin mug, wherever she is. Anyways, I will talk to you in a little bit and we'll see what we get up to. Happy fall. Terrible timing on my part because by the time I got to the Little Free Library it was already dark and you couldn't even see anything, so there was no point in me recording with no light. But I dropped off It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover because I'm not gonna revisit that ever, and I walked away with 2 things. This video is just turning into me accumulating books. So let me just show you them because one of them is really cool. First of all, I used to love the Modern Love podcast. It's basically like submissions from people that write into the New York Times and they edited it into like basically a book of little essays about people in different relationships, and there's actually a Prime Video series about this, like based on it, and I really enjoy it. So cute that I have a book version of it. And then I found an ARC copy of this book called Now Conjurers, and I looked it up and it's very highly rated on Goodreads, but it only has like 400 something reviews. So I think that this was an indie published book that came out this summer, so it hasn't been read by that many people and it hasn't really been widely picked up, but I'm very intrigued. I love a tall paperback. I know that obviously since this is an ARC, like the finished version, but it seems perfect for fall, very spooky. So if I end up reading it, it'd be kind of fun to tell people about it and encourage them to pick up an indie published book. So this is really fun. I think it's young adult horror. It's got witches and monsters from what I could tell on the back. Very curious about this one. If I end up picking it up, I will let you know. Now that I actually moved my body a little bit, I'm ready to settle in for the night because it is a Sunday night and it's already late. So I think I'm going to make maybe like a few cookies, maybe a hot cocoa or like a coffee situation, and then read some of my book. So let's go do that. We already finished it. It's actually been a significant amount of time since I updated this vlog. It's been a minute. I've gotten a haircut. I read this so quick. I think I actually finished this the same night the last time I talked to you guys. I stayed up until like 1 a.m. binging it. Again, it's not that long, so I really wish I'd gotten some real-time thoughts, but first things first, this is such a good like October read, I would say. If you have this on your TBR and you're considering reading it, I would highly encourage you to do it in the spooky months just because the way that the things unfold in this, definitely spooky, definitely like dark fairy tale vibes. Like it feels like a fairy tale retelling, and I know it's not. It's just like a kind of just like a dark fairy tale-esque story. But when I say I've actually never read anything like this, it's true. It was very dark. I don't remember if I said this, but the main character's name is Iris and her sisters are Vivi and Gray. And her older sister Gray is the one that goes missing, and they're trying to figure out where she's gone, what's happened to her, and if this strange man that keeps appearing in their lives is somehow connected to like what happened to them when they were younger, slash connected to her current day disappearance. And what makes this so, like, I feel like even more different than anything I've read before is Gray is like a really, really famous supermodel, which just added this extra layer of like uniqueness, I guess, to the story. And then Vivi, the middle sister, is a musician in like a relatively popular band. So like the characters and like what they do themselves felt very real life in the terms of like Gray has like an Instagram that she's posting on. She has millions of followers. She's dating another model and he is equally as famous. And so that kind of bleeds into some of what they get up to in terms of people knowing who they are, or like people being intrigued by the story of like what's happening to Gray when they do like announce that she's missing to the world. And it just added like a super interesting element because so much of this felt very like, it made it feel more like an urban fantasy, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because it felt very real life, grounded in our current reality. But then there were all of these other facets of it that were like fantastical and magical, and like there was a lot of themes of like death and a lot of things related to the sisters having weird magic that they couldn't explain. But the fact fact that like the sisters have these real life, larger than life jobs almost kind of grounds the story in a more like realistic way, even though they're very like outlandish jobs, obviously. I don't know, I really don't know how to explain it, but this truly felt so unique. I will say again, I do love this length. I do love the 290 pages, but something happens in the back half where Iris ends up on sort of a different journey. The nature of the story in terms of like the setting and stuff kind of changes. I don't know, it kind of felt like we started to like skim over things, which I think, like saying this out loud, I'm pretty sure that was intentional, but I don't know, it was just very interesting because it felt simultaneously like rushed and like maybe it's just that we weren't getting enough detail, or honestly maybe it's that I was binging it. I don't know, I really like these characters, I really liked the concept, and I will say the way that it ended, it did kind of leave the door open for maybe not necessarily a second book, but like exploring something else in this same universe, which is very interesting because I liked a lot of the elements of what was going on here. Definitely horror vibes in terms of just feeling very much like a dark fairy tale, and it was definitely very vivid, very descriptive. There was a lot of like rotting flowers and a lot of like exploration of the boundary between life and death, and that kind of boiled down a lot of times to death and decay. Yeah, I will say a lot of the twists in this didn't get me like basically at all. I think I was supposed to be like shocked by a lot of the stuff that happened in the back half, and I just really wasn't. I don't know if that was just because of the writing style or more because like a lot of the seeds that were planted early on made it very clear where we were going. Yeah, I don't know. I like really did enjoy the reading experience. Ultimately, I gave it 3.75. Didn't feel like a 4-star plus read. Like I don't think this is like a new favorite, but it was super interesting for sure. Quick read, really good for October, and I would definitely recommend it if you read the description and you feel intrigued. Definitely worth the read, I would say, but I don't think it's gonna be something that stays with me long term, which is usually when something gets up above a 4 stars when I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be thinking about that again. It was fun. It was a fun time. I had a good time. I read it super quickly. Would recommend. Yeah. With that being said, I have a free afternoon. I'm going to the movies later tonight to see Saturday Night. I'm very excited, but in the meantime, I do have a free afternoon, and I think I want to bake something fall because I'm just really feeling like that. There was such a chill in the air this morning. I want to go to Trader Joe's, get something fall, pumpkin, whatever, and then I want to watch the last 2 episodes of the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, which if you're unfamiliar, Good Girls Guide to Murder is a young adult mystery thriller series that I just finished the last book of, I think last month in August, and it's on Netflix. My roommates and I have watched most of the first season, and then we did lose access to our Netflix subscription, but my roommate Mad caved. She bought Netflix herself, so we have it back and we want to finish at some point the last 2 episodes. So I think that's what we're gonna do this afternoon. I'm very excited. I think here in a little bit I'm gonna go get some fall goods and then we will watch the show. Let's go do that.